Most civilians are unaware of the challenges that veterans face when we're separating from the military and returning to civilian life. Reconnecting with family, adjusting to a different pace of life, or even putting together a resume can prove to be difficult. But luckily for today's vets, there are many companies and organizations that offer counseling, education, and career advice for transitioning vets. Hi, I'm your host, Monta Williams. And today on Military Makeover, Operation Career, we've got 4 inspirational stories about veterans who found gainful employment after leaving the military. Our first story highlights one company that provides housing for service members. With approximately 52,000 homes on 49 military installations across the U.S., Hunt Military Communities recognizes the unique skills that many vets offer, which is why many of its employees are former military personnel.
My name is Cameron Ibarra, and I am the training manager for Hunt Military Communities. My husband, John, was in the Army for 26 years. When you're a military spouse, you're sacrificing too. And so when my husband decided to retire from the Army, it was scary. It was really scary going from what we knew in the military to the civilian world. So for a career in military housing, you still have that relatability. So I started in military housing in 2002, and in 2016 is where I discovered and started working for Hunt Military Communities.
My name is Jim Curtis. I'm the National Director of Maintenance for Hunt Military Communities. My father had been in the military for 26 years as a United States Marine. I joined the military when I was 17 years old. Right out of high school, wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, so this was a logical next step for me with the history of my family. The deployment that meant the most to me was when we deployed to Iraq with the 2nd Marine Division out of Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. I'd been in the Marine Corps for 25 years and had not seen combat. It didn't even feel real at first. But after a while, it did feel real when you saw what happened on a day-to-day basis with your fellow Marines, sailors, airmen. And then when you left it, you felt like you left a part of you over there. I came back and I spent another couple years on active duty at Camp Lejeune as their facilities chief. I got a call from a recruiter that told me that there was an opportunity at Hunt. They were looking for a maintenance director out there, that this was a great family company, that they cared about their people. I looked into it and I thought, this really aligns with what I'm trying to do to continue serving the people that serve us.
Hunt Military Communities is the largest privatized military housing company in the country. We serve 165,000 residents across the nation, and we have 49 installations across every branch of service. We're in a partnership with the military, and it is an important partnership. They're looking out for the resident. That's their role. And so we're here to partner with them to let them know that we have the best interest of our service members in mind in everything we do.
If you're transitioning from the military, Hunt is a great place to work. We're a tight family. You have a chance to give back to the military and continue to serve those families. Hunt values that. We value your leadership. We value your honesty and in your integrity and the compassion that we know that you'll bring to the families that live in our homes.
I'm so proud to be a military spouse. I'm proud to work for Hunt Military Communities. I'm proud that we are impacting lives.
Every day we come to work trying to make a difference in someone's life, and our culture is that everyone has the authority to do the right thing in this company.
At Hunt Military Communities, we're serving the men and women who serve.
DTE Energy is more than just a utility company. They offer a wide variety of career paths from skilled trades to engineering, strategy, IT, and many more. And being a company that was founded on service, they welcome the opportunity to bring veterans into the fold.
This leading diversified energy supplier is more than just a utility company. DTE is also involved in the development and management of energy-related businesses and services nationwide. The team at DTE appreciates the hard work, dedication, and leadership skills that veterans have developed and honed during their time in the military. And that's why companies like DTE have made it their mission to help veterans transition from the military into the energy industry.
I'm a retired captain in the United States Army, and I'm the proud executive sponsor of DTE Energy's Veterans Resource Program. DTE Energy is a Michigan-based energy company that proudly calls Detroit its home. We have over 10,000 employees all across the United States. We've been around over 120 years. We have an incredibly long history of supporting this great nation with our armed services to help them make that transition and to be able to use their unique skill sets to help us as a company. Devon and Gary are two great examples of how we serve at DTE Energy. Devon shows all of us what it means to have the core values of being a Marine, of commitment, courage, and duty.
Devon Sigmund is a veteran of the United States Marine Corps. He returned home from his deployment in Afghanistan with a brain injury, embedded shrapnel in his head, and a diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder. But that doesn't stop Devon from bringing his best energy to work and inspiring others to do the same since joining DTE in 2016.
The reason I joined the Marine Corps basically was for me to have a different path or way of life, to provide for myself and my children as well. Transitioning back into civilian life, it had its moments. It was hard to find work, finding my place where I fit in. The way I got into DTE was a VA representative at the recruiting station. The DTE recruiting they have for a natural gas boot camp as well. Similar regimen as far as training as boot camp in the Marine Corps. It laid me down the same path as getting the knowledge I required to get to the position I'm in now. We'll pull up to a customer's home or establishment. We'll ensure that there's not a major gas leak, and if there is, we'll excavate, find that main or find that gas line and repair it and make proper calls at that point. Companies that hire veterans will get leaders and quick learners because everything we do is fast-paced.
Gary is one of those tireless individuals that works for all types of veterans, those that are fully capable, that are able to transition immediately into the workforce, to those veterans that have disabilities that are not able to do that, all the way to retired veterans that are living by themselves at their homes.
My primary role is to investigate and mitigate the complaints that come in for our region. Also to support the engineering plan, whether it's computer load studies, developing emergency contingency plans for hot season. My father served in the Army during the end of World War II and the beginning of Korea, so I decided to enlist in the Army as a communications operator. Basic training, I was deployed to Germany, and I was assigned to the nuclear unit to field and make ready the Pershing II missile. So I did my active duty, and then I did 3 years in the reserves, came back to Michigan. We went back to school and was able to complete my degrees. I wound up getting 2 associate degrees instead of a bachelor's, one in robotics and automation and one in electronics technology, which ultimately led me to DTE. My time in the military and my experience in the military definitely helped me in the civilian world. The leadership, the discipline that's required, the dangerous conditions that we're always working under, working as a team, we could rely on each other. And I think that's part of the reason that I was able to get a senior position so quickly within the company. To be able to get involved in vet groups, the energy groups here at the company, it really is a nice thank you to the veteran when they come back to have a company be as vet friendly as DTE is.
In addition to all of his responsibilities at DTE, Gary also spends time with fellow vets at the local American Legion post.
We've done so much in the community and within the company, and it allows us to do what we do on the outside of work while we're at work and help our fellow employees and mentor them and the community.
Present arms.
For more information about DTE and their commitment to hiring vets, please check out their website at dteenergy.com.
A leading accounting firm has created an internal veterans network to help former military personnel connect and support one another within their organization. Ernst Young launched this initiative to not only recruit vets, but also offer peer mentoring, career guidance, and encourage community involvement.
Our country's veterans have earned our support and commitment as they return from service to their civilian lives. Finding employment outside the military is just one of the many steps in this journey. Hiring veterans and providing them with career opportunities is not only good for them, it's good for everyone, especially the companies that hire them. Veteran Ginger Kelly and veteran and Purple Heart recipient Michael Lehman have found their life's work in the professional services business, and it's since become their life's passion.
I was an infantry squad leader in the Minnesota Army National Guard, did one deployment overseas. It was 16 months to Qadim, Iraq, which was in the Al-Anbar province.
My time in the military was some of the best years of my life. I was on active duty for 10 years. I did not have a military background, so I knew I wanted to see the world and travel and meet different people and do different things. Military life and civilian life are quite different.
In the civilian world, I would say that your time is a little bit more flexible, and you have the autonomy to do all sorts of different things.
Different in the way that you are told exactly what to do. From the time you wake up till basically the time you go to bed, you have a very rigid routine. You know exactly what you're going to do. It's extremely predictable. So my transition was really filled with excitement. I felt that I had 10 years in the Marine Corps and was really ready to begin down the path of, a civilian career.
I got home from Iraq and went right back to school within 3 or 4 weeks of coming home.
Veterans make great employees. Their military experience provides them with leadership skills, confidence, and teaming abilities that can be gained in few other places.
So my field of work is quite interesting. It's consulting. And consulting is ever changing. So it really feeds into my personality, and I feel what drives me.
Hey Julia, it's Michael. I have some great news.
The most satisfying part about my job is being able to continue to help people, and that's clients, but also when clients, they are serving the public, so I continue to do that.
Today, Michael and Ginger are part of Ernst Young's diverse workforce that includes and values all differences, which brings out the best in their teams.
It's about people first. There is a lot of focus on diversity, not only gender, being a veteran, I'm Hispanic as well, so minority, but also diversity of thought. People coming from different backgrounds. We hire individuals with liberal arts majors, chemistry majors, engineering majors.
And that leads to innovation.
Every day is an innovation. That was one thing that I would say that translates really well from the military, is every day you're trying to find a way to do your job better.
The cornerstone of their efforts is the Veterans Network.
The Veterans Network that I co-founded was roughly 8 to 9 years ago. There was 5 to 6 of us, and we wanted an opportunity to really connect with other veterans. We started communications, we started a newsletter, and really it flourished from there.
So I help out a lot with the EY Veterans Network. So whether that's coaching and mentoring them, or folks on the outside that are still looking for that job and going through their transition.
My advice to other veterans entering the workforce is be transparent, be honest, be your authentic self. We already know that you're a leader.
To really leverage their professional networks or non-professional networks, that means, shaking hands, holding a conversation, asking people out for coffee to discuss their career goals. So I think that those are the biggest piece of advice that I can give folks.
What I've learned about myself with working for EY is that I honestly don't feel there's anything that I can't do if I put my mind to it. Is maybe, cliche as that sounds, the ability to be able to walk into a new client, work with a new team, all the possibilities. It's just been an amazing ride. Happy to help. Yeah, anytime. Thank you so much. Sure, bye.
Most people associate propane with barbecue grills, but propane can also power your home or your vehicles with fewer harmful emissions than regular gas. As the oldest propane retailer in the United States, Suburban Propane has a history of service and a commitment to hiring veterans and providing them with lifelong careers.
If you've cooked on the grill before, you already know what propane is. But did you know that propane can also power your entire home while emitting fewer harmful emissions than most energy sources? As the oldest propane retailer in the United States, Suburban Propane has a rich history of safety, customer service, and community support. including a commitment to hiring and training military veterans for lifelong careers. Quincy Adams and Eric Barnett are two Army vets thriving as Suburban Propane employees.
I was an infantryman in the Army for about 6 years. On the transition out, I came out, went to a factory job. Wasn't really happy with the job. I wanted to do something more. I found the Suburban Propane job online, so I applied for it, and I am currently now the Customer Service Center Manager.
As a soldier in the United States Army, training to be a leader is just the top of the food chain. I felt that I can use my leadership skills as well as the skills that I acquired over my years in the military to make this a hand-in-glove transition for me and just make it all easy and fit perfectly.
John Davis is a third veteran employee. He found Suburban Propane through their Heroes Hired Here program.
They help you with transitioning from the Army to civilian life.
Yeah, with the Heroes Hired Here program, we have several incentives to assist with a veteran coming into our company. Suburban Propane will actually help you move to wherever location you need to be. Also, they have an assistance where we can help you get your commercial driver's license if you don't already have it.
A commitment to career development and longevity comprises one of three pillars that define the Suburban Propane brand. The first pillar is known as Suburban Commitment, showcasing their unwavering pledge to uphold the highest standards for safety and customer service.
Our commitment to safety is not just, let's make sure you're wearing a hard hat. It's make sure everything we're doing is for the safety of the customer.
So the company gives you monthly safety meetings, monthly checks.
Drivers doing pre-inspections, post-trip inspections. My service technicians doing walk-arounds on their trucks, checking their cranes. It's just a 24/7 thing here at Suburban Propane.
The second pillar, Suburban Cares, highlights the company's continued dedication to giving back to the local communities across their footprint. Suburban Propane's ties to the military fall under this pillar.
I think as a veteran, that's all that we want transitioning. We want companies to care about us. You're coming from being trained to do certain things to coming in having to learn newer skills. And for a seasoned veteran like myself, it was all brand new to me. Every person that I've encountered here has always had great positive things to give me, great tools to provide for me just to help me get to the next step.
The final pillar is called Go Green with Suburban Propane. This promotes the affordable, clean-burning, and versatile nature of propane gas as a bridge to a green energy future.
You would never know it, but a lot of times your kids are riding to school on a school bus that's powered by propane.
Pool heaters are powered by propane. Even dryers, cooktops, you name it in the home is powered by propane.
I'm very proud that they do hire veterans because there's a lot of guys getting out that don't know what to do, don't know where to go.
The same family aspect that you have in the military is definitely present here. When it comes down to the veteran side and your military side, all right, we have several different programs going on. We've got your Heroes Hired Here, the MID program, which is the Manager in Development program, the Suburban Career Development program. It's also a way to track your career, also see what you need to make that next step.
Those programs put us in the places where we need to be to help us excel on the outside once we take the uniform off.
It is a terrific company to come to if you're coming out of service and are a veteran.
Transitioning from military service to the civilian workforce can be challenging, but it's nice to know that there are companies out there these days that are actively looking to hire veterans. These companies recognize that veterans have a lot to offer because they're goal-oriented, they're disciplined, and they bring great life experience to the table. I'm Montel Williams. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Military Makeover Operation Career. We'll see you next time.